Okay, so let's have a look at the avatars. The system should be working pretty well now for a wide variety of different rigs. There have been also improvements to this avatar creator. So one thing that was improved is that the aligning is now much smarter. It has to pick the axis that is closest, and some of the math was also fixed. So as you can see, the headset is a little bit tilted. So I can, for example, align the upwards axis. I can also align the right axis forward, and also I can center it. So this looks pretty good. It depends on the actual bone within the avatar, but if the bone is aligned with the axis and with the head perfectly, it should work pretty well. So it's great. And I should be able to equip this. And you see the avatar is working. So now because I'm in the air, why is there no shadow? Hold on, let me just enable a shadow. It helps the perspective effect. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's quite strong shadow. So let's remove this. The sizes of these have also been fixed, so they actually depend on the size during the calibration, so we can adjust that. I'll just grab random on the lightsaber. Haha. Yes. No recording. Actually, should be recording. So these avatars seem to be working pretty well. Let me enable sliding. So see, when I slide slowly, the legs, they try to keep up. Eventually you'll have a proper walking animation, but so far we have this procedural one. It might require some more tweaking to the parameters. You can actually do this yourself if you want to play with it using the inspector. But if I go too fast, the legs just give up and they will start flying. But once I stop, they will plant themselves again on the floor. So let's have a look at another. So let's try this one. Let's try I think this one was also working well. So it's great. Let's equip. So the hands, they should be at proper rotations. I should be able to go on the floor. Grab the lightsaber. Seems to be working as well. So let's try another, a little bit more challenging one. So we have this one. On this one, I have placed the headset a little bit higher. Let me also align it. I have placed it a little bit higher because otherwise, this note gets too much in the face. So let's create. Let's equip. So this one will actually rescale me because it's smaller than human. So now everything seems bigger, like this lightsaber. But other than that, the character seems to be working pretty well. So this was actually one of the other that was also giving the system some trouble. And it should be working pretty well now. Yes. Hello. Yep. Okay. So let's try another. Let's try one of the anime characters. So this was also one of the problematic ones. And let's try aligning to see how that works. Yeah, so the bones look quite well for this as well. Yeah, so this is pretty well centered actually. So let's create. There we go. And I should have moved the headset a little bit because I can see the hair in my face. But other than that, it seems to be working pretty well. Even with my book floating next to me, so I cannot actually look at it because it rotates the whole route. So This is working pretty well. Oops, and the camera is going through me. So let's try another of the challenging ones. So it's the Sonic character. He has pretty strange body proportions, at least relative to humans. So this, yes, centering works as well. So let's create. And you see this actually keeps the size of these references. So see I have pretty big grabbing area. So I can grab this, shake him, let's put him back on the floor. Can move him around. And you see his legs actually try to keep up still. So the Sonic is working pretty well as well. The legs were getting previously twisted, but it seems to be good now. You can see like the legs are getting out of the shoes, but that's matter of how the avatar itself is rigged. So you need to change the weights on the vertices to be affected by the bones, because right now they aren't. But other than that, it seems to be working quite well. There's of course some limitations, like for example, especially this Sonic character, he's not very good for editing stuff because the big hands get in the way. But for social settings, playing around, it should be pretty cool. So let's try another. There's a few more. So this one is a 3D scan, and the 3D scans they often end up like with a little bit of messy coordinate space. And you can see this one; it also doesn't have fingers because the scanner is not precise enough to capture them. And as a result, the IK system it doesn't actually isn't able to guess correctly the axes of the thumb and of the palm. So if with the previous system the hand got rotated weirdly, but now there's a system where if you place the controllers to go along with the hand, and it detects that there is a significant difference between the way you place the controller and the guessed axis, it will use the axis of the controller to fix it. So also on this one you can see that for example centering doesn't always work well. So aligning works fine, so the axis is actually pretty well guessed since this was rigged with the Mixamo, but if I center it, you can see this is not the actual center I want. So the bones they might not end up where you really want them. And this is the case of auto-rigged 3D scan. But the manual positioning works pretty fine, so it's great. You can also see there's one thing with the messed up coordinate systems, the default states, it pushes the legs a little bit upwards, but once I equip it, this actually gets fine. And you can see now the hands actually rotate properly. They are rotated relative to my controllers based on the references. And the avatar itself is also working pretty well. So I can go and grab my lightsaber. Yes. Ooh, and you can see how it changes color when it goes through me. So, I think this one is working also pretty well. Hello. So let's try the last one. This is the Stalker one. So you can see this one is pretty big. It also has a little bit non-standard rig where the spine is a little bit different from the way it is in humans. So let's adjust this a little bit. So let's align the axes. So this works pretty well as well on this one. And let's hit create. Also, the thing about this one is the head is really forwards, and this is not the way it is on humans. So we actually end up with the arms being a little bit too short. You can also try pushing the headset inside of the head. Of course, then we need some way like of handling Actually, I think this might work pretty well. Let's push it inside. Let's push it inside like this. So I can check like where my eyes would be. So my eyes would be around here. Okay, so this is pretty good. And you can see this is closer to the human proportions. So let's just align it. Let's align forward, towards right. Let's try centering the position. Okay, looks good. So this is actually, it will feel a little bit like wearing the suit. And show me like an option so you can actually adjust the clipping. But this actually seems pretty fine. It feels like wearing a helmet. And if you actually made an avatar with a helmet, this is something you'd want. Okay. You can also see the size of these relative to the hands. So let's hit create. And let's equip. And this is also working pretty well. Actually, the hands, they are somewhat better now. Of course, the head gets a little bit in the face, but that's the way I set it up. And often you'd want a different character for actually interacting with people and for social settings. So some of the things have to be accepted. Let's grab this as well. Now it's actually regular sized lightsaber. So the characters, I think they are working pretty well. So the system is quite ready for. I've got it really low. It doesn't. Yeah. If you push yourself too much through the floor, like the legs will eventually go through, but yeah, there's a certain point where it looks a little bit silly. But yeah, so there's actually one last one. I think this one should be working pretty well. So let's align it and let's center and let's create. So let's try this one. This one is also, actually this one seems to have the legs. Are the legs correct? Oh no, the legs are swapped. So I guess some more fixing to do. That should be pretty quick fix, so hopefully these are all working fine and nothing else will break anymore. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy the new avatar system. And if you have any questions, you can always ask on the Discord, or any problems with avatars. You can ideally, if you send me the files, I can take a look at them and try to improve the compatibility, or at least point out what's problematic with the rig. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.